Hello everybody, it is Calxiyn here. So we are back now with more Monsters Inc. screenshots. And so this is very exciting, but remember that if you guys enjoyed this video, please join my Discord server, come support me on Patreon. And I have new Kingdom Hearts videos basically every Friday that aren't about news, so they're about other things. So like last week I did like what secret bosses Kingdom Hearts 3 should have and like stuff like that, so you guys should do that. Also, I realized that last time I was recording you guys couldn't see my mouse cursor, so whenever I pointed at something it was a bit weird. And so these are some of the screenshots. Well, this one we saw before, so let's get rid of that. But this one is another new one, and so I'm gonna explain why in a minute after I basically show you guys all the screenshots, but now I'm 95% sure that these are intentional leaked screenshots, that they're not rogue employee leaked screenshots, that they are intentionally leaked screenshots, and I'll explain why in a minute. But anyways, and so you have a really kind of interesting, you have a bunch of stuff going on here. So you have the frame rate and all that shit that I don't understand. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know. And so you got that. You also have Donald here, who seems to have little bat wings, and I don't know, like, I guess his head may just be open, or that may just be the top of his head. And then we get a better look at Goofy. I'll just zoom in here. And so, like, I told people last time I saw Goofy in the background, and people were like, where? I don't see him. But now you can see him in the foreground. So Goofy has some horrifying eyes right there. He's standing beside the save point. This looks more like, I don't know how to explain this, but basically, like, for example, in Kingdom Hearts 2, like, when you're in the final boss area, everybody's just kind of walking around and chilling instead of actually following you. This is kind of what that reminds me of, because it doesn't look like they're tailing Sora or anything. Like, it looks like they're just supposed to be walking around and you can, you know, press triangle to talk to them like Kingdom Hearts 2. And so it's nice that we see Goofy in his full form. Donald, his face is still back there. Sully and Mike are still being hidden, but we saw, like, better pictures of them before, so that's fine. This was the original screenshot where they had the unversed and you have the levels, and we talked about that in the last video. So now you have a clear picture of the area where we were before. Donald seems to have some sort of, I don't know, I can't even explain to you what I think that Donald is. Like, I just don't know. But that's okay. And so then you get a better picture, and then you can see, if you guys see, right, oopsies. If you guys see, let me move this. If you guys can see right there, Boo is actually ooh boy, Boo is actually in the corner of the picture. I'm trying to zoom back out, but now I'm having a little, I'm having some difficulties. All right. And so, yeah, so there's that, and I think that's super interesting, because that's what I said in the last video. I was just like, if Boo is not here, it's time to riot. But obviously, Boo is right there. She's with Sully. She's not in our party, so I think that she's more of a, I don't want to say an escort mission thing, but I feel like that she's pretty much gonna be, like, hanging on to Sully in battle. Like, she's not fighting or anything. Like, she's just chilling right there. And then, obviously, you have all the doors. It's been, like, a while since I've watched Monsters, Inc., I'll admit, but I do remember the plot and stuff like that. Anyway, we can continue. Also, if people know, like, oh dear. If people know, like, what the Japanese stuff says, I would love to know. I would love to know. Anyway, so here I think this is one of them that interests me, because it looks like that Sora is in the middle of talking or something, or he's just jumped down from somewhere, and that's why his arms are raised up. Because you guys see in all the other screenshots, his arms are flat, and so it'd be interesting if now, instead of text bubbles, like, when you press triangle to talk to a character, you actually talk to them, and your motion is in, like, the regular game instead of cutscenes. Does that make any sense? You guys probably understand what I mean. Like, sort of like, I don't know if this is a better example, but just like in other games when you talk to NPCs, it doesn't, like, you know, go automatically into a cutscene. You just, like, talk to them like regular, like regular people. So I feel like that may be what's going on there, and if that's the case, I'm excited. If not, I think he's just jumped down. And also, again, part of Sully is covered here, and so I talked about this in the last video, but because Sora is turned backwards in every single screenshot, and I'll get to a screenshot where it looks like he isn't, and you guys will see why I'm 95% sure that this is a real, intentional leak, so that the marketing department at Square Enix is not freaking out right now or anything. This is because they did it. Like, it's not some rogue employee, and so that's the difference, because we had 3 options before, basically. Like, obviously it's a bit more complicated than that, but I had laid out 3 options. So, it's a fake screenshot from a rando. It's a rogue employee making leaks. Or it's the company itself is leaking out information on purpose. So now I think, like, for all of these to be fake, I don't know. It would just be a lot of work at this point. And now that there's more, like, I'm a bit speculative. Like, I know a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands sometimes, but I'm like, I'm leaning towards that they're real. So if they're real, then you have 2 options. It's a rogue employee, or it's the company. Now, because nobody's asked KH Insider to take the pictures down, I'm just pretty sure that they're intentionally leaked, if that makes sense. Just because, like, KH Insider, most of the Kingdom Hearts sites, even the smaller ones, have a bit, like, a good enough relationship with the dev team, if you want to call it that, and the marketing. The PR people, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, a couple of years ago, KH Insider and KH13 worked together to do a bunch of interviews with people that were working on the game, and KH Vids wasn't invited. That's like the site that I'm aligned with, but anyways. And so, if somebody was like, hey, wanna take those down, you know, like, it would have happened already, you know what I mean? And it wouldn't be impossible for it to happen, because I'm pretty sure that somebody would just message the people from KH Insider and be like, hey, listen, could you not? You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's because nobody's done that yet, and it's been a week or so, like, maybe they, I don't know, like, maybe it takes long to do this stuff, but, like, it would literally take, like, 5 seconds after they posted the article to be like, hey, could you not? And so I feel like it is intentional, because they haven't asked KH Insider to take it down yet. And I know that there's some sort of, like, relationship between the website and then, you know, the company. To an extent. Like, they aren't, like, buds or something, but, you know, they have contacted each other in the past, so if it was really that big of a deal, they'd take it down, or they just don't care, and it is a rogue employee leak, I guess that's, like, the, rogue employee B possibility, instead of the A possibility, which I already mentioned was just somebody going rogue. Anyways, so to continue on, now we get a better look at Sora. It almost looks like he has, like, fish fins for hair here, and I really like the horns and the body and stuff. And now I think if we zoom in again, we can sort of get a look at Donald. You can see how his eyes are, like, kind of like Goofy's, where they're really inwards, or not inwards, outwards, I should say. They're really outwards, and they're they're super huge is basically what I'm trying to say. And they're more, like, huge than usual. They're, like, 3D and huge, if that makes sense. Anywho's. Then you got Boo again, and this just seems to be the same place that I was in the first screenshot, but they moved Sora. So you guys see what I'm saying when Sora's turned around? And also, okay, so I don't know what this is. Like, and that's why I'm saying that it's not that it's intentionally leaked, because if you were a rogue employee, why would you cover that? Like, whatever is going on there, unless, again, like, you really wanted to leak stuff, but you also really didn't want to get in trouble. Like, either way, you're breaching your NDA anyway. And so, obviously, like, it seems like Sora's holding something here, like, maybe, like, something for a little, like, mini mission, or a Keyblade, or who knows. But see how, like, he's all covered? That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a rogue employee, and I was gonna get in trouble anyway, I may as well show Sora's face. And so I want to talk about a third possibility, though, when when we get to it. But yeah, they're all, like, usually they're all back-turned. Like, we saw some where it's like, Mike is looking, or Goofy's looking, but Sora's always just backwards. Also, yeah, I don't remember exactly what is going on in this point of the movie. I'm guessing it just has something to do with Boo being, like, forcibly taken by Randall. I don't even know if Randall will be included here because of Vanitas. If Vanitas takes her instead of Randall, that would be crazy. Crazy talks. So it looks like there's more in verse there, and so that's kind of where that theory comes from. Also, I just want to zoom in on something. Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on up there? If one of you guys want to tell me. Like, it looks like something has shot up into the air and it's flying, almost. Maybe that's just how I'm seeing it. I don't have my glasses on. Like, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it looks like they got all, like, the fight animations for Sully and Mike right here, but, like, they're still like this, so I don't know what to tell you. And so that's another one with the picture of the end verse. Okay, so this, I don't know exactly what we're looking at. Like, I tried to explain this before, but I don't really know a lot about game development stuff, obviously, because I was like, oh, these thingies. But this seems to be, like the stuff for their, to give everything, like, I don't want to say to give everything color, but it's a shader complexity, right? And so I'm guessing it's, like, how complicatedly shaded, like, the environment should be, because obviously, like, the floor doesn't matter as much as, Sora or the inverse or other things that are going on, maybe. Because, what does that? That says normal, and then that just goes off into the red. And so, yeah, if anybody, again, wants to kind of jump in the comments and educate us, please. I only know what I'm talking about from, like, I don't know, like a fan perspective for the most part. Like, I don't make games. I write stuff, and so that's where my area of expertise is. But yeah, then you can kind of see, again, Donald and Goofy don't seem to be here. They seem to be out in the world somewhere, I guess. And then you have this, which is a bunch of stuff, which, again, I'm surprised though that it's all in English. Just because, I mean, I guess because it says game, cutscene, localization, and then it, you know, it continues on. But because this part isn't, like, this part's in Japanese. I don't know if this has been translated, though, specifically for us. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what is going on through the mind of this person that is taking all of these screenshots, if you want to put it that way. It's kind of hard to know exactly what's going on, so to speak. But I want to insist that I think it's still intentional. I don't know if Square has done this before for any of the Kingdom Hearts games. Like, not to say that nobody cared, but, like, this is the big Kingdom, like, this is a big one. You know what I mean? Like, this is the big one, is Kingdom Hearts 3. And so, like, I don't know. Like, it makes sense. But yeah. Like, apparently during Final Fantasy 15, something was leaked, and they were looking to get them taken down or something, and they apologized, and stuff. Like, it was a very sad state of affairs, it says. But, like, for Kingdom Hearts 3, nobody's said, like, no one said anything. Not yet. I mean, I guess, I don't know, like, again, that's why I think it's intentional. That's personally why, I think it's intentional, because, like, no one, not to say that no one cares, but, like, nobody said anything about it, and it's been a while, and, like, I don't know, it seems a little sketchy. Like, you guys can tell me what you think. Oh, I was gonna talk about the third alternative I had earlier, Sora may not have a face, and I know that sounds weird, but I was talking to some people on Twitter, and they said at this point of development, like, Sora just may not have his face finished in terms of, like, the monster face that they're gonna give him. Because obviously, like, Donald and Goofy seem to be done, from what we've seen of him, but Sora may just not have a face, and that's why we can't see anything And that's why the person, the employee, whether they're rogue or this was intentional, that's why Sora hasn't been turned around at all, and why we can't see his face, because there is literally, like, just darkness. Like, there's just nothing there. So that was, like, the other alternative that a bunch of people had mentioned to me, that not showing his face doesn't necessarily mean that it was intentionally leaked or not intentionally leaked. Like, it just means, it just may mean that his face just isn't finished. And so I thought that was interesting, but I'm going with that they intentionally leaked this, and I don't know, maybe I'm just into, like, conspiracy stuff like that, but I don't know, that's just me, and that's fine. And so, anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm choking on my own words now. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.